So I hope that after this you can take up guard and I can get some rest because I really need it. And here I have some for you as well. So that we both have some nuts. I know it's not much, but it's better than nothing. Also, I have this new idea. There's supposed to be this area further down, and it's a forest, but right next to the sea. So I think it would be good for us to go there because the forest gives us shelter, camouflage against raiders and all bad people. And it's next to the sea, meaning we have constantly the sound of the waves. And when we talk to each other, the sound of the waves will block our voices. Plus, I think raiders will not come there because I think they might think that it kind of is an area that easily gets underwater, so they might not want to just camp there. And usually they have houses anyway where they sleep in, and they might not think that anyone would camp in a place like that. That's my guess. Last peanut. I think I lost like 5 kilograms since we started running and hiding. But I know it can be quite boring, and I think this other book might give us some entertainment. You know, I can read some for you. And then maybe later you can read some for me to just relax me and make me sleep. I think it will go easier. You know, after all the things we've been through, it's not always that easy to go and sleep. I will start reading for you. I will get a random chapter. It's a book by George R.R. Martin. A Dance with Dragons 1. Dreams and Dust. We'll see which one. The chapter's name is Davos. The merry midwife stole into White Harbor on the evening tide, her patched sail rippling with every gust of wind. She was an old cog, and even in her youth no one had ever called her pretty. Her figurehead showed a laughing woman holding an infant by one foot, but the woman's cheek and the baby's bottom were both pocked by wormholes. Ew. Uncounted layers of drab brown paint covered her hull. Her sails were grey and tattered. She was not a ship to draw a second glance, unless it was to wonder how she stayed afloat. Oh. The merry midwife was known in White Harbor too. For years she has plied a humble trade between there and Sisterton. It was not the sort of arrival that Davos Seabird had anticipated when he'd set sail sail with Sela and his fleet. All this had seemed simpler then. The ravens had not brought King Stannis the allegiance of White Harbor, so his grace would send an envoy to treat with Lord Manderley in person. As a show of strength, Davos would arrive aboard Sela's Gallia Valerian, with the rest of the Lycian fleet behind her. Every hull was striped, black and yellow, pink and blue, green and white, purple and gold. The Lycini loved bright hues, and Salador San was the most colorful of all. Salador the Splendid, Davos thought, but the storms put an end to all of that. Instead, he would smuggle himself into the city, as he might have done 20 years ago. Until he knew how matters stood here, it was more prudent to play the common sailor, not a lord. White Harbor's walls of white-white stone rose before them on the eastern shore where the white knife plunged into the firth. Some of the city's defenses had been strengthened since the last time Davos had been here, half a dozen years ago. The Jedi that divided the inner and outer harbors has been fortified with a long stone wall, 30 feet tall and almost a mile long, with towers every 100 yards. There was smoke rising from Seal Rock as well, where once there had been only ruins that could be good or bad, depending on what side Lord Wyman chooses. Davos had always been fond of the city, since first he'd come here as a cabin boy on Cobblecat. Though small compared to Old Town and King's Landing, it was clean and well ordered, with wide, straight, cobbled streets that made it easy for a man to find his way. The houses were built of whitewashed stone, with steeply pitched roofs of dark grey slate. Roro Horace, the Cobblecat's cranky old master, used to claim that he could tell one port from another just by the way they smelled. Cities were like women, he insisted. Each one had its own unique scent. Old Town was one flowery as a perfumed dowager. Lannisport was a milkmaid, fresh and earthy, with wood smoke in her hair. King's Landing reeked like some unwashed whore, but White Harbor's scent was sharp and salty, and a little fishy too. She smells the way a mermaid ought to smell, Rural said. She smells of the sea. She still does, thought Davos, but he could smell the peat smoke drifting off Seal Rock too. The sea stone dominated the approaches to the outer harbor, a massive grey-green upthrust looming 50 feet above the waters. Its top was crowned with a circle of weathered stones, a ring fort of the first men that had stood desolate and abandoned for hundreds of years. It was not abandoned now. Davos could see scorpions and spitfires behind the standing stones, and crossbowmen peering between them. It must be cold up there, and wet. On all his previous visits, Seal could be seen baking on the broken rocks below. The blind bastard always made him count them whenever the Cobblecat set sail from White Harbor. The more seals there were, Roro said, the more luck they would have on their voyage. There were no seals now. The smoke and the soldiers had frightened them away. A wiser man would see a caution in that. If I had a thimble full of sense, I would have gone with Sela. He could have made his way back south to Maria and their sons. I have lost 4 sons in the king's service, and my 5th serves as his squire. I should have the right to cherish the 2 boys who still remain. It has been too long since I saw them. At Eastwatch, the Black Brothers told him there was no love between the Manderleys of White Harbor and the Boltons of the Dreadfort. The Iron Throne has raised Roose Bolton up to Warden of the North, so it stood to reason that Wyman Manderley should declare for Stannis. White Harbor cannot stand alone. The city needs an ally, a protector. Lord Wyman needs King Stannis as much as Stannis needs him. Or so it seemed at Eastwatch. Sisterton has undermined those hopes. if Lord Borrell told it true, if the Manderless meant to join their strength to the Boltons and the Freys, no, he would not dwell on that. He would know the truth soon enough. He prayed he had not come too late. That jetty wall conceals the inner harbor, he realized, as the Merry Midwife was pulling down her sail. The outer harbor was larger, but the inner harbor offered better anchorage, sheltered by the city walls on one side and the looming mass of the Wolf's Den on another, and now by the jetty wall as well. At Eatwash by the sea, Cotterpike told Davis that Lord Wyman was building more galleys. There could have been a score of ships concealed behind those walls, waiting only a command to put to sea. Behind the city's thick white walls, a new castle rose proud and pale upon its hill. Davis could see the doomed flute roof of the Sept and the snows as well, surmounted by tall statues of the Seven. The Manderless has brought them, fate north with them, when they were driven from the reach. White Harbor had its gods wood too, a brooding tangle of root and branch and stone locked away behind the crumbling black walls of the Wolf's Den. An ancient fortress that served only as a prison now, but for the most part, the Septons rules here. It seems to be quite a good book, doesn't it? I'll read it. We will take turns and eventually together we will finish this book. Because there's not so much remaining in this world to have fun with. Of course, you can always have fun with each other and talk, share thoughts and opinions, and of course, running from the raiders is kind of exciting, but not in a good sense. It frightens me more than anything. But it's kind of sad to say that the most fun things right now is when I find food. Because it's something that's been missed so much. And when I find it, it's just, I can bring something back to you and me, and just eating it is such a pleasure. Even these simple little peanuts. It's been so long since I had peanuts. It's been so long since I had a fresh fruit or vegetable. I was thinking, maybe we shouldn't go to the seaside, but should go maybe to the mountains. And maybe in the mountains we can find a flat place somewhere between them, like a valley, where we could start growing our own fruits and vegetables. Of course, we will need seeds or roots, and of course, sunshine, water. It's kind of cold up right now, so maybe this is like a plan for later that we can do, because it seems to me like a good idea. At least we will have something, fresh food, fresh vegetables. It's so important for your health. Now we've been eating like just everything we can find, basically. A lot of junk as well. I don't know, it doesn't make you feel the best, does it? But we are always happy to eat it. Yeah, true. Yeah. Can't really be demanding in a situation like this, now can we? Also would like, this tent is so low. We also would like to find you a better vest. A jacket. Maybe some better boots. But it's not gonna be easy finding them. And I think maybe next time we should go together. I think it's safer. And in movies they always split up and it ends in bad shit. I think 2 is stronger than 1. So yeah, I think definitely we should go reading together. I will feel much safer anyway. And we could find a weapon, or we could make a weapon maybe from a stick. Even if it's something primitive, and when it's, sharp, it can serve its purpose. Though I know some of the raiders have guns, but still, if they attack you and somehow you can hide, and they come at a place or position that they don't expect you to be, you can still jump them. Or another plan I had was, when we have a settlement, this is actually kind of a bad plan, but when we have a settlement, so like, you know what I mean, we could build traps around it. But the thing is, good people may come and they will fall in the traps, so it's not a good idea. But it's survival. So I'm just thinking a lot lately about how to improve things. Maybe to go, we need to really get away from here. We need to find a place. And just a better place than this one. So if you don't mind, can you read for me?